fanfic idea for anyone who wants it, and God, I'm excited for this one. I feel like it could be so hyped if it was done well. So, basic premise. The League at this point hates Midoriya because of how much he's prohibited their plans, basically. So they decide to specifically target him, but because he's at UA and they can't get to him there, they decide instead to try and find his family and target them. So they end up finding and kidnapping Inko. Now, when this is learnt, Izawa goes to his class and basically says, like, leave this to the pros, don't intervene. And he looks around at several of his students, all looking at each other, and just goes, none of them are listening to me, alrighty then. Like, just has this absolute moment of, I can't stop this. Anyway, with Inko, she's scared shitless, obviously. And the villains aren't helping because they're constantly purposely frightening her. Shigaraki gets involved and starts scaring her, and as he goes to grab her, a wall of ice separates the two. As the League look over at Shoto, Sarah shoots at his tape, grabs onto Inko, and him and Shoji pull her away. Those two, Inko and some other students, start getting her away and protecting her from the shit that's about to go down. Meanwhile, the League has looked over, seen Shoto, Bakugo, and maybe a couple of other people, and they start talking shit and stuff like that, and Darby actually steps forward. Darby steps forward and he says something along the lines of, like, you think you can beat me, brother? Like, you know, the cliche supervillain brother line here. And Shoto looks at them for a second and gets this look of almost pity and says, oh, you really don't realize how much you fucked up? Bakugo, who's standing next to him, starts laughing. It's just like, yeah, you don't know what the fuck you just did. The League are all confused and looking at each other, but then Shoto steps forward, looks at Darby, and says, you didn't hurt our family this time. You hurt his. And suddenly, the entire atmosphere of the room just changes, as suddenly, like, what can only be described as power fills the air. And the League turn around to see Midoriya standing there, glowing with energy. And even though they're literally like meters away from him, they can literally feel the power just radiating off of him. And he stares them down with glowing eyes and a dead serious face. And they all just have 1 second to realize that they really have fucked up. Because standing in front of them now is a literal god. And they just kidnapped his mother.